Let's go. Roland picked the space cadet up and headed towards the tunnel. I need you to pilot Kelly's ship back to base. Okay, Gale? Roland asked. Gale agreed. When Gale and the soldier emerged from the chasm, the three of them saw a large spacecraft had landed 50 meters away from the tank. Several men dressed all in white, wearing strange helmets, were leaving the ship. The men were carrying the three children. What the heck's going on here? Roland cursed. One man dressed in white appeared, holding up his right hand. Come down. We're with the military. I don't care who you're with. No one enters my tank without my permission, Roland said, stalking towards the man. He almost forgot he was carrying Kelly. Come down. I outrank you, the man said, pointing towards his chest. Roland saw the man's chest had several stars on it. He didn't just outrank Roland, he outclassified the man. My apologies, sir, Roland said, but the apology didn't sound sincere. A space cadet? The man asked, looking at the body Roland carried. It's a friend. And without saying anything further, the commander entered the tank. The man dressed in white watched as the tank closed up and rolled away. Overhead, a Mars space cruiser followed. When they were out of sight, the man removed his helmet. The man looked like he was in his late 60s. He had short silver hair and a goatee that circled thin lips. Mr. Seth. The poison, said a woman dressed like the man was. The woman had long, flowing jet black hair, ample breasts and dark brown eyes. Calm down, Brenda, said Mr. Seth, with a smirk. We both know the poison won't kill me. He turned towards the woman. Now, after we are done examining the children, I want everyone to investigate the ship and bring back samples. Yes, sir, Brenda said. Mr. Seth watched as the woman headed back towards his ship. Finally, he muttered, turning to the chasm. Finally. Roland had done as Kelly had asked. When they arrived at the base, he asked one of the doctors to fix Kelly's body, dress her wounds, and even give her a fresh set of clothes. He couldn't stand taking the space cadet back covered in blood. The woman had not only saved one of his men's lives, but he was certain the mission would have failed if it weren't for her. The space cadet hailed from a space colony known as Last Hope, which hovered over 2,000 miles away from the planet Earth. Over 7,000 years ago, when space exploration for the inhabitants of that planet really took off, they were faced with a crisis from aliens who wished to destroy them. In one last effort to defend themselves, they built the colony, and on the christening of the colony, the Intergalactic Space Cadets were formed. The colony is the home of over 1 million people. After contacting Marcus, Roland took a shuttle and transported Kelly to the colony himself. As the shuttle docked in the hangar, Roland met Marcus. Marcus was in his early 40s. He had black hair that had a few speckles of white, dark brown eyes, broad shoulders, and was dressed in a uniform similar to Kelly's. Commander Roland? It's a pleasure to meet you. I only wish, Marcus began, extending his hand. Roland happily took it. He could tell instantly the greeting Marcus was giving was standard, but his voice cracked with sadness as he spoke. Kelly must have meant a lot around here. Roland had noticed lights appearing on the sills of the colony's windows. She was more than a space cadet, Marcus said, and it was all he said about that. Leading Roland out of the docking bay, the two stepped into a large hallway. I appreciate everything you've done. Taking care of Kelly like you did. You didn't have to. I did, Roland said. Thanks. The two continued to talk until they appeared in front of a nursery. Over a dozen kids were playing inside. It wasn't hard to spot little Dexter. He was the only blonde-headed boy in the entire room. Are you going to tell him? Roland asked. Dexter is a smart kid. If I don't tell him, he will figure it out. And hate me for not telling him. Where's he going to go? Roland asked. His aunt's house. I spoke with them yesterday. They are sad, but love Dexter. They will take good care of him. The two continued to watch as Dexter played with a cute blonde-headed girl, who looked to be the same age as him, playing with blocks. I think something else is going on here. The crabs, those lizards, and the spooks in white? Something's not on the level, said Roland, putting his hands on his hips. I agree. I am investigating as we speak, but there is only so much I can do. I am running my own little investigation. We still have the samples and data we took from that ship. I have a copy for you here. Roland reached into his pocket and removed a data disk. Taking the data disk, Marcus activated it. Instead of seeing information about the samples or data recovered, he saw a picture of Kelly and Dexter hugging. "This is going to be hard," Marcus said, turning the disk off. "I am sorry," Roland said, removing the other data disk from his pocket and handing it over to Marcus. "I am going to go. I will keep in touch. Let me know if you find anything out. I'll keep you informed too." Roland turned to leave, but stopped when he felt a hand on his shoulder. "I will. Thank you." Roland opened his mouth to say something, but the words were hard to form. "If Dexter needs anything, let me know." "I will," said Marcus. Roland nodded, then headed back towards the docking bay. Marcus watched as he vanished around a corner. Turning back towards the nursery, he saw Dexter was still playing. Stepping inside, Marcus made his way towards the boy and girl. "Hello, you two," Marcus said, bending low and touching his knees. "Angel," Marcus said, looking at the small girl. "Can I steal Dexter away from you?" "No," Angel said, hugging Dexter's arm. "He is my boyfriend." Marcus laughed. He felt a lump appear in his throat and his eyes were starting to burn. "I'll bring him back in one piece. I promise." "Fine," Angel said, releasing Dexter. Marcus helped the small boy to his feet. Taking him by the hand, the man led him out of the nursery and into an empty room. "What's wrong?" Dexter asked. He noticed the sadness in Marcus' face. "Dexter," Marcus said, going down to one knee. Dexter was a bright boy. And even though he was young, Marcus could always carry a conversation with the boy. "I have something very important to tell you." Swallowing hard, Marcus held back his own tears as he spoke the hardest words he ever had to speak. 14 years have passed since this fateful day. Thank you for listening to the first chapter of Dexter Knight. You can find the full novel at Barnes & Noble. You can also wait until next week when another chapter of Dexter Knight will be posted. Thank you for listening.